Hi everyone. The next few days you're going to be getting a new Insider Bars update, and I wanted to briefly go through and show you what you can expect in the new version. We're going to do things a little bit different this time. First of all, the everyone's on Insider Bars B, and Insider Bars B is not going to change in Update 28. The changed version is going to be the old Insider Bars, which we're going to kind of make a beta version, if you will. The reason for this is that there's some attributes to it that require 9.5 Update 14, which is not in public release yet. It will. It will be out very soon, probably the next month or 6 weeks. But if you want to get this now, anybody can sign up for the beta program, and there really are no requirements. You don't have to submit reports or whatever. You just get releases earlier. And in this case, Update 14 is very, very good for Insider Bars stuff. So it's one, ordinarily I wouldn't recommend a beta release to most people, but this is one that is quite good, and there really are, I mean, there are hundreds of bugs that have been fixed since Update 12, so it's a big step forward. Um, so anyway, so what we're talking about here is going to be the old Insider Bars indicator that what's old is now new again, and then at some point when Update 14 is widely available, we'll update Insider Bars B to all the new stuff here as well. So anyway, the first thing you're going to see is that the input screen has changed. The input screen was getting too large, so basically what I did is I changed it to tabs. So you got paint bars, insider objects, VWAP, value area, point of control, and then other miscellaneous settings. Just to save space mainly, and the way it all works pretty much the same. You click on the color buttons now, and they open in the bottom half of the input screen instead of a separate window. But that's really the only thing that's significantly different in the operation of it. What you're going to like the most about the new version is the speed. I added some provisions that allow Insider Bars, and this is just on the Insider Bars indicator right now, that allow Insider Bars to save its data. So the first time you add it to a chart, or if you change a symbol or what have you, you'll have the typical loading times that you're used to. However, after the chart has been loaded, the data is saved, and if you reload it, or if you save your workspace and reopen it, the load time will be about 90% faster than what you experience now. Basically, because what it does is it reads its own saved data instead of recreating everything from scratch based on TradeStation data. So I mean, this does a lot of things. I mean, first of all, it makes it a lot less annoying if you get a color wrong and you want to go back and change it. You don't have to wait 20 seconds for your indicator reload. But the big thing is it opens the door to much more longer term analysis that would not be practical based on using tick data. Because most people don't want to sit and wait 10 or 15 minutes for their chart to load, but we're going to get past all that now. So the next few months, there's going to be some more really neat stuff coming out. Every now and then, you do want to reload your data, and to do that, you have an option here called Reload Data in the menu. Right above it, Redraw just uses the save data. Reload Data loads the data from scratch. Likewise, there's on the input screen, there's a Reload Data checkbox down here. So when would you want to do this? Let's say you're trading off of a continuous futures contract and it's rollover. If it's rollover, you need to adjust your data because the data's if you don't adjust your save data, then it will not match the new bars, which are price adjusted. So So anyway, that's I think you're going to like that a lot. The first thing that we have done, you actually can see here on the screen, is a uh, weekly analysis scenario has been added. The original insider bar started out with daily, the typical daily volume weighted average price, point of control, and value areas, and then we added the previous session. And what you see on the screen here is weekly. The beginning of the week's session, the VWAP resets and then calculates throughout the week, and I like this a whole lot. I am finding that it is one of my new, especially the VWAP and the value area are particularly good. Not only the current weeks, but the previous weeks. You start seeing some things that make a whole lot of sense. So I'll be interested to hear what you think about that. Another thing, speaking of the previous session or previous week, I added a new option here in the originally we had it set up to where you had to use the background shading for the previous value areas, and basically I just kind of cleaned up all that a little bit, and now you have more options available. You can, if you want just lines instead of the shading, you can do that, as we saw before. So basically, you just got a little more flexibility to make it look however you want. And again, as before, you can if you don't want any of the previous week's data or previous sessions data, you can get rid of those. So another thing that, while we're on this, is you now have an option to do two different sets. Now that we have two different kinds of, or actually more than two, and multiple kinds of VWAP, value area, standard deviation, point of control available, you can now do up to two sets on any one chart. Set 1, set 2 here. They're identical. You can do it. Anything will work on either one. So that is another option you have. Some people have been interested in doing. So, what if you want the VWAP or value area for the last 10 minutes or 15 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever, and you can do that to a certain extent with the bar statistics on a higher bar, but this gives you another option to, if you're on a 1-minute chart and you want to know what happened over the last 10 minutes, you can do that. And we're getting into the custom area here. So custom is the second new thing I added, and you can either do it as days or as bars. I'm a big fan of 1-day moving averages and things like that, and it just saves you some calculating time to figure out what it is. But you can do bars or days. This one I had set up for 5 days. So basically, the idea of a 5-day VWAP is basically, think of a 5-day volume-weighted moving average and all the related statistics. And here you can see what that looks like. Instead of it restarting at the beginning of every week, it is just a continuous analysis. So that's something else you'll be interested to check out. Let's jump over to this one. This is a shorter term chart, and let's look at, this is a 10-minute ES chart, and let's look at, on this one, let's look at a custom 1 day, and just so you can see what it looks like. So you can play with them and see which one you like the best, or you can put both on the same chart. Yeah, do whatever you like. And I'm just showing the value areas here, but you can also do the point of control and the standard deviation. Pretty much all the same options you had before. Uh, you have for this. Um, One other thing here, I added a new coloring option. When you start looking, I'm a big fan of the week as a giant trading session. So I do a lot of my geometric stuff. I do a lot of week-based stuff. Uh, One of the things I like is coloring the bars by the day of the week, just for quick, easy, where are you? And that's what you see here is it's Thursday night when I'm doing this. And so blue is Monday, red is Tuesday, yellow is Wednesday, purple is Thursday, and we're just starting green, which is Friday. So just another option. It's not available for everything. You can't do candles like this. It gets messy with candles and up and down colors and whatnot. But you can, if you're using some of the bar chart options or line charts, you can do this. And let's see, what else do we have? Okay. Well, before we get off of this, I've got one new thing I want to show you. But before we get off of this, I want to just mention something that's not particularly related to insider bars, but something happened. CBOE changed the VIX, data this 2 or 3 or 4 weeks ago. They started broadcasting it starting at what is it 2:15 Central Time in the morning. Basically, when they have a trading session now for European Um, traders, and so basically the new VIX session is from the beginning of the European session through the end of the US session, and it's a very fascinating thing. I mean, I've been using uh, a modified version of insider bars on it just for the value area and VWAP and the bar stats. And the only thing you have to do this is on your chart, instead of using volume here, you need to use tick count, because insider bars uses tick count for indices. So, but otherwise you can do this, and it's really I'm really liking this as a confirming indicator for S&P trades. I'm not as big the other the new session only applies to the VIX now. It does not apply to the other ones, and the other VIX like indicators for other markets tend to be a ton of bad ticks, and it's just more trouble than it's worth in my experience. So but I would encourage you to have a look at this one and see what you think. And one of these days I'm going to get around to doing some more stuff on geometry, which fits in with all this very well. So I will get to that soon, hopefully. I wanted to the last thing I guess on the list here is the BidAsk display. I'm sure you've seen on the insider bars there is a little plot right here that shows where the inside bid and ask are, and basically I did a bunch of little enhancements. I mean, really, literally little. They're very small. I'm gonna show you a blown up picture for the video so you can see them. But I wanted to show you. This is all on the other settings tab, and so I basically just kind of redesigned all of this stuff. So you have a checkbox for show insider bars. You can still show the size if you want. I don't do the size myself, but you can if you like. And then you have a drop down box here with 3 options. You can either show no trade volume, or trades at uptick and downtick, or trades at bid ask. and you'll find that the trades in BidAsk are slightly different than the uptick downtick. So that's something you can have a look at. Then the showing the price, showing the the last tick up or down on the price scale, I've kind of integrated into the same thing, and you can use the bid or you can use the trade pretty much like it worked before. But what I want to do now is show you a blown up picture of the display so I can explain a little better how. Okay, here we go. All right, so right here you're looking at, this used to be a single little object right here that showed where the top edge of it was the ask and the bottom edge of it was the bid. So basically what I did is I broke it in two, because the bid and ask don't always go the same direction, and so the lower little rectangle you see here represents the bid, and the bottom edge of it is the exact point of the bid price. And the color will swap between up and down depending on the tick direction of the bid. And likewise with the top rectangle. The top rectangle is the ask, and the top edge of it is the exact ask price, and the color will moves up and down depending on the ask direction. And again, these moved separately. You can have one going one direction, one going the other. So it's a little more level of detail for those short-term oriented. And then the other thing you see here is the trade volume. This is the last trade, on it works a little differently in different situations, but it's either the last trade at bid or at ask, or it is at the last trade as an uptick or downtick. And so you'll see the volume. This is like live trade volume that's being reported here. So that's another thing. And if you want to use the bid volume and ask volume, they'll show up right on top of and on bottom of the levels here. So you can experiment with all this as well. I will warn you, if you're using the trades at bid or at ask, it is extremely demanding on your computer. If you don't have a super fast computer, you will not like it. It will. I mean, it can be very, very, very tough on a computer. So use it sparingly. And I guess that's about it. The the I'm probably not going to get the help done updated, right now on this. I mean, especially since we've got two versions working, but most of it's pretty easy to figure out. You can just play with it. And if you're used to the old version, I think it's going to be pretty easy for you to find your way in the new one. I am going, once we get fully integrated into the new version, I am going to do a major update to help. So because there's a lot of things that have been updated and just really just needs to be cleaned up a little bit. But so sometime in the next couple of months that'll come along. But I wanted to go ahead and get you this so you could get to work with it and take advantage of some of the new stuff. So that's it. Thanks a lot for listening, and I'll let me know if you have any questions or suggestions when you get the new version. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.